Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Gloves Off Podcast, the only podcast with lower body vulnerability. I am one of your podcast hosts,
Wait a
Master
minute.
Games Koopa. Listen, it's there. You just don't know it yet. I'm going to introduce him first today because he just realized what I said. Mr. Hazmatt rules. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? What's happening, fellas?
It's definitely happening. And joining us as always, the Ken to my Ryu, Mr. Not Chris CX no more. The
Damn,
man has
you
been
really just called
reborn.
Dude,
another
I want to
person
know.
Chad?
I want to know how you feel about that, Haz. How mad are you right now?
What the fuck, bro?
How mad are you, dude?
I'm leaving the call.
What if you're a Kuma? Does that make you feel better?
Stay mad, kid.
If you're a Kuma, does
I'm
that
just
make you feel
joking.
better?
No, it makes me. He's literally an angry demon. So that is exactly how I feel.
I'll be Akuma.
Akuma rules. Yeah, I mean, all three of them are very
He
dope
just
characters. So I think Ken's the best.
all right. So all right. So we'll just agree to that then.
Also, yeah,
I'll
you're
take
no longer
Akuma.
Chris.
You're
You're no
like
longer
a-
Chris CX. You're Chris Elodian now.
Yeah, that's me now.
Officially.
It's
Love
official,
it.
dude.
I do like the Twitter. Yeah, I like the Twitter.
It's
thing.
just way
So-
better. It's better, man. It's just I don't like to think of myself as a brand really, but I think it's more marketable in any case.
pretty-
I think we were talking about it actually. Koopa and I were talking about it when we were in Oakland. I was like, I'm kind of surprised that it was open and just available. But I was like,
right?
But also, I'm not surprised at all. You know what I'm saying? Like it's there, but
Well, because there's a lot of other things that are taken that like you would think would be open, and I agree. This doesn't seem like it's just so simple. You know, it's just so simple
Yeah.
and so like takeable at any point. But hey, I'm happy I have it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you know what? We're happy to have you here.
Yes.
And so we took a week off last week because we were busy, and I'm pretty sure I got sick last week. So down with the gen of sickness for sure.
I do.
But
I do have to. I did cheat on you guys with another podcast, so sorry about that.
That's okay.
oh, that's
No.
true. Yeah,
I-
you were on hard reads with TK Breezy and Aussie Lavisa.
I was. Yeah, it was a good
Whoa, the hard reads.
time. Yeah, you know.
Nice.
I definitely retweeted it, so it's fine. So you
Good
guys
shit,
are getting your guys are getting your double dose of Hazmat on podcasts.
Yeah.
If you're watching both of these within quick successions, kind of like I don't know how you guys intake your podcast. I like to listen to like 4 of them at once.
I guess it depends on like the open time slot. I usually listen to them as I drive, so it's like it's kind of however long a duration till I get to like point A to point B. Because I will listen to them back to back, like if I have the time.
Mm,
You know?
I think recently I just actually I measured how long a trip was in podcast episodes. So it kind of speaks to where my head's at right now. It's like from here to Maryland, it's like 2.5 podcasts. Like it's not long at all.
It's a pretty helpful. Like it's helpful. Like when you're traveling, it kind of makes it seem shorter when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, like 6 45-minute episodes, like 5 45-minute episodes of whatever I was watching on the way to California was enough to get me to California. I didn't even realize that I was there already. Like, it was crazy.
Catch our lifestyles podcast coming soon. Although to be honest with you, I sort of feel like that's kind of catch-all for here. This is definitely like not the traditional like Smash podcast. Smash is just kind of like the launch point for everything.
No, I could go on another 20-minute tangent about Survivor again.
oh god,
Oh god.
that's a different podcast.
Dude, let's
Yeah,
go on a 20-minute tangent about Genesis 7. That's what I want to do.
That's true.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Hell yeah, dude.
Great transition. Love that from you.
You're
anyways,
natural. You ever pick up the mic
dude.
before?
I'm like someone hire me.
Wait, damn, you're about to be a
Yeah.
Dude,
commentator?
I just
Alright,
you know what I wanted to
competition.
So-
This is
so
a
I-
competition. Get them, boys.
Dude, I wanted to I want to know how to just like monetize being a cool guy, you know? And
Well,
I
you
was
gotta
thinking
find
about
a-
it.
You got to find a cool guy first.
Dude,
That's the starting point.
shit. So, all right. So, if I was a cool guy, like, how do you market that? And then I was thinking about that. I was like, you know what? Who's got that covered is like Leon. Like, I just look at like,
Yeah.
Before we get into anything, I just want to say like, ever since he got the sponsorship at Space Station
Yeah.
Gaming,
yes.
it's crazy, man. He's like verified already. I just think that's so cool.
Well,
that's like a
also-
real sponsor thing to
Well,
do. And
he
he's
did
just
two
being a
big
cool
things.
guy.
He did two big things. First off, he put Bowser on the map. That was
Totally.
a thing that didn't exist before him at Smash and Splash, basically. I mean,
Correct.
people knew in New Jersey, or no, we saw it at a couple other places, but that's like when the world found out because we heard.
He was definitely
he
like a local secret.
Yes.
Well, he
for a
beat
bit.
Light and Mars at Maybe that was after. That was after though.
That was after the fact though. That was definitely after.
But he beat Nairo at
Tri-State Showdown.
No, it was Suplex City.
No. Suplex City. It was Suplex City. Yes.
The Old Town Road tournament.
Yes.
That was the worst. That was the highest peaks and valleys I've ever heard about my commentary. So I think I did something right there because they were just like, you wouldn't shut the fuck up about Old Town Road. Neither that was awesome or it was terrible.
Was that the one with the hat? With the brim yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
the duality of man.
I just want to see.
Darth.
Can you link me that picture?
Someone entitled that Darth has
Dude, it's so good. Picture. It's right up there with the picture of Gons with like the hoodie over his face with like. I don't know if you've seen that one. I have to find both of these now. Okay, they're both really good.
We gotta put those two and the Kermit dressed up like a Sith Lord like next to each other. Those are all three good pictures.
I love those pictures.
Chris run those.
I have to find them.
Leon. Okay, so the first thing you got to do, Chris, is take a cool character and beat top players with him. So like that's pretty easy. And then the next thing you have to do is drink beer out of your shoe in Australia.
I've heard that. I've heard about that.
You're verified. You gotta, dude, pull the video. It's pretty dope.
Dude, he's legit. He's legit just monetizing being a cool dude. Like
he's chill.
Like he's doing his thing, man. I think that's so freaking cool.
Right now, Leon's in his first act of a Leo DiCaprio phase, where like things are like real cool, but then like eventually he's gonna like try to like you ever seen like that one scene from The Wolf of Wall Street where they try driving the car?
Dude, I was
the Quaaludes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great scene. Not saying that'll happen to Leon, but you know,
I was concerned for Leon's safety. Dude, I'm just thinking about like Australia's nuts, dude. They have like literally fire like tornadoes over there, and like big.
I think it's calmed down a bit, but yeah.
But either way, he's rocking it, man. He's a world traveler, and I just think it's really cool branding all around.
My take on Australia has always been everything and anything can kill you, and you just have to accept it. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were supposed to 20-minute tangent the G7, and I totally like.
Ooh, Genesis ruled. Genesis, of course, always one of the best tournaments every year.
Yeah, no, and myself and Haz were both in attendance. Haz was a staff member this year too, so good on you.
Let me say, can I just tell you boys how proud of myself I am? Because
please go ahead.
I know. Sorry, because I don't want to just like.
Just go on.
I don't like talking about myself, but I've been thinking about this for a while, and I didn't really know like the correct avenue to do it. But I'm amongst friends, and I feel like I could share this with you. But I'm really fucking feeling myself right now this year because you definitely remember Kyle Koopa, because I definitely talked to you about it, and I was just, and you and I were in the same boat where it was like we were bummed when Ultimate came out because commentary was already really competitive for Smash 4, but when Ultimate came out, it was obviously ultra competitive where. Not only did we have the Smash 4 commentators who were all amazing, but we had a lot of new blood in terms of Melee commentators and then new Ultimate commentators who were jumping up. So I had lost out on a lot of slots that I had gotten the year before for Smash 4 for Ultimate. And I tweeted some shit like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I don't understand. I've definitely only gotten better as a commentator, and like, I just don't understand. And like, obviously there's a lot more to commentary than just how good you are at it to get a slot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a whole dynamic and culture and all that shit around, getting slots and how you do it and whatever. But last year I couldn't fucking book anything, and this year, January alone, I was gone for 3 weekends out of the month. I was gone doing PGR events, the A tiers, S tiers. I think that's it actually. I think they were just A and S tiers. So compared to last January, I just really feel accomplished and proud of where I've come in terms of doing commentary and being considered and or selected for big events like that. So yeah, I don't know, just really fucking feeling myself on
that's
that
good,
one. Feeling good about myself.
It's for good reason. That clip of you, Sam, flipping off.
That's so
flipping in front of that amazing timing.
Yeah, I'm always the first one to tell you, like, I'm obviously, like, as colleagues and friends, like, we both share the same passions and frustrations, but I'm always the first one to tell you how great that I think you are, and I'm happy that you're finally getting like the rightful recognition that you deserve. And I'm in the same boat too. Like, I'm definitely making I'm making money moves, and I'm pretty stoked about it. Not commentating at Genesis obviously kind of sucked, but I technically got I found a recording setup and I got a couple sets in so I could put it on the resume. And in general, I had a really good weekend. Like, dude, Genesis for me is mostly a vacation, so.
You had a great January too, though. Like, don't sell yourself short. You had a great January.
Yeah,
you
did
fucking let's make big moves, bro. Come on, we were both there.
Top 8 of
and we did great.
Yeah, yeah, we
Holiday
can.
next year,
And
to
you're
start
at
the year.
Glitch. There was Glitch too. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, Chris was there.
I was there.
It was awesome.
Dude, it's almost like we're professionals doing professional things. I've been pretty confident what I'm doing too.
But the cool thing, as you should. And the cool thing about all three of us is I think we all felt that initial, like, a couple years ago, Smash 4, when we were all really, on the rise and coming up and working, grinding really hard. Then we hit this point with Ultimate, and it's like, damn, this is going to be huge. And it was like, damn, it's going to be huge for everybody except for us.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it felt. And it was like,
yeah.
Like,
if I could go back in time and tell me this time last year, like what's coming up, then I'm sure I definitely would have gotten some better sleep at night. But I think our Always Sunny episode is going to be called "The Gang They Are Professionals."
Dude, I'll look forward to that one for sure.
But sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, listen,
even when I made the tweet last year where I was like, I'm fucking sad boys that I'm not getting, like, what happened, like, what did I do wrong, and obviously, even at the time we talked about it, we knew I wasn't really doing, or both of us or any of us weren't really doing anything wrong. It's just like,
it's a lot of mouths
just the way it worked. Yeah, it's just it's a grind, bro. It's fucking hard.
That's what I always tell the youngins. Just like, you got it's a long and arduous process, but like once you reach a certain point, like even like the middle level guys can definitely generate some form of consistent work. And hey, listen, it's gonna be like I've branded ourselves as your parents' favorite commentators, and
I do like that.
That's
we're
fun.
Like a Full House episode when it comes to commentary.
Let me tell
You're
you,
Joey Gladstone. I'm John Stamos.
Let me tell you something, man. I think this is all just sort of at the beginnings, and it is kind of cool when you see bigger tournaments, especially when you're involved with them, like how you were involved in Genesis 7, or how we were all involved with, like, Let's Make Big Moves. Like, it puts it into perspective, because those are definitely, like, the types of broadcasts that'll reach it to that larger audience, to where you'll be in front of, like, a mom or a dad, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could listen to this,
Yep.
Versus what is this on the TV?
Yeah, we're season 6. We're season 6. Joey Gladstone and Jesse Katsopoulos, where they're like working in a radio industry.
Dude, why do you think I have things as seasons? Like, it makes so much sense for the context of like Smash. Like,
Chris
really
is obviously Danny Tanner, by the way.
Dude, yeah, dude, I'll be honest with you, man. IRL outside of Smash, I'm seriously on my Uncle Jesse swag.
Yeah,
Nice.
okay. All right, that's a totally Danny Tanner thing.
Yeah, that's totally a Danny Tanner thing.
Cut it out, Chris.
You kind of got me. I'll give you that.
Chris, you might get downgraded to comment. I don't know.
You know what, man? I always like Family Matters better, anyways. All right.
You guys know what the Tanner's home phone number is?
Oh my God, I know.
555-2424.
That's right. Oh my God.
555-2424.
I'm sure that'll come in handy at one time. Like, you're gonna be doing trivia at a bar in like Wisconsin or something, and that's gonna be one of the questions, and that's gonna be the equalizer. That's the one.
It's literally 3 numbers rearranged. It's pretty easy. It's 5 and 2 and 4, just in different like.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of area codes, speaking of the Bay Area, look at how we bring it all back around.
We didn't talk about tournament results of Genesis, or like we kind of,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just hope we keep circling.
Oh, nice job. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, good job. You were doing great.
See, landing the plane is my specialty. Except for when I was going to California. So it's fun fact. Both my flights had some sort of medical emergency happen on them, so that was fun.
Is that fun?
No. It's the first time it wasn't.
It's like a weird subconscious tick of just like.
Yeah. Yeah, my flight leaving to California, a gentleman got on a plane and then immediately passed out because his blood pressure dropped.
Oh God!
So hope that guy's doing all right. But yeah, bad to say. And then on the way back, a woman who was definitely not in any condition to fly had to be like.
Was she hammered?
No, she was just not like in a good state of physical like being.
Oh,
so they had
I need more detail here. I'm not catching what you're.
So like she was. So like.
I'm not. I'm kidding.
If we learned anything at Genesis, is that I'm incredibly vague with my description of things. So I had to ask a lot of questions.
God, dude.
Yeah. So basically, this woman, I think she had an injury or something, so she couldn't walk right, and she definitely was having trouble breathing because she sat next to me at the gate. we were both waiting for. And I think as the plane was descending back into New Jersey, her like breathing like got really heavy. So to the point where like someone on the intercom was like, "Oh, if there's any licensed medical aircraft, please hit your alert button." I'm like, "Oh boy."
And you sat next to her? Damn.
Yeah, I was like when we were waiting to get on the plane, I was like two or three rows behind her. So
2 or 3 flights after her. Not that close.
Yeah, I mean, considering how drunk I was at the airport, I was like 3 sheets behind her. Yeah, we can talk about that. But
can't relate. Yeah, sorry, dude.
Yeah. So, but Genesis itself was fun. The tournament's always a good time. I like the convention center. There's always a lot of stuff to do at Genesis, which is fun. Like the vendors. There's a lot of vendors to shop at. The arcade cabinets are plentiful.
The refreshing thing about going to a West Coast tournament is like there's a lot of great vendors on the East Coast, but I've seen them at like every fucking tournament every other weekend. You know what I mean? Like their stuff's nice, but I've kind of already done my window shopping and or real shopping. So when I go to the West Coast, I'm like, damn, there's so many like fresh pieces of merchandise here. That was actually I ran into who was it? Oh, I ran into Lyric at all the shops there, and she was like, "Holy shit, look at all this stuff!" I'm like, these guys, like, I bet you all the West Coast people have seen all of this merchandise like a million times. You know what I mean?
You never think about that, do you? That's true.
I do. Well, now I'm putting it out there, man. There you go. The truth is exposed.
Yeah. So that's kind of the flavor of like going to different regions for Smash. Even like the merch is different, and this is kind of one of those. Genesis 7 kind of turned into one of those things where I guess the region became a little controversial, which is something I think we were trying to allude into for a little while ago.
We're not done talking about the results. We haven't even congratulated Mars yet.
Yeah, that's true. So, there's believe it or not, there are people that show up for the results. And my God, what a result this was. So myself and Haz, as well as a bunch of our other close friends, including Anime Man and Crunchyroll employee Camelange.
Camelange rules, by the way. Thank you for introducing me to him.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends, so I'm happy we were able to all hang out together.
I created a group chat after it was Koopa, me, Camelange, and Pixel. And I created a group chat just with the two of them after. I was like, by the way, it was really nice meeting you guys. I don't think, we didn't really get to say bye or anything, but, it was just nice meeting you guys. I'm glad. Because Camelange and I have kind of known about each other for, I feel like, a long time. Through you, basically, Koopa.
Yeah, no, he's like a casual person in the community. Like, people recognize him at the after party guy, which areas.
As the white, you keep cutting out. I don't know if that's just me or Chris.
No, yeah, it's cutting for me too.
Oh, okay, my bad. My internet's a little screwy. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, like, at the after party, people came up to him and were like, "Oh, you're the Sonic guy," and I thought it was funny.
What is he like famous for in terms of being a Sonic? Because did he beat Esam? Is that a thing?
No, he was just like a relatively well-known Sonic player when he traveled.
Oh,
like, he didn't go to a lot, but he was like, he created a lot of content and like kind of pushed the character.
Oh, okay.
A bit.
I definitely recognize his tag.
Yeah, no, like low key, he was like, if he got the opportunity to travel a bit more, I think he definitely would have like made splashes. And he's and just like on a personal note, he's one of my best friends on planet Earth. So happy we were able to.
He's an incredibly nice guy, and Pixel was very cool to get to know too. Very nice human being as well.
Yeah, Pixel's the best. So we all had a front row seat to watch Mars finally win the big one.
Finally win the big one.
Yeah,
he did.
I don't know if you heard this one because he came and sat. He sat with us at one point just to like chill, like because he didn't want to be back because there was like a VIP area backstage, but like it's with all the other fucking top players and shit. So he was like, I don't want to be back here right now. And he came out and we were talking about it, and it was before, I think it was right after Leo beat Sam, and then Mars was like, dude, I really want Leo to beat Samsora, even though obviously Mars would have a better chance against Samsora. Not that it'd be an easy match by any means, but it's fucking MkLeo is what I'm saying. Like, not that Samsora isn't literally number 2 in the world, but it's MkLeo. And Mars is like, I kind of want to play Leo in Grand. So he's like, and I was like, dude, I'm glad you said it because that's exactly how I fucking feel. Because if you win an S tier but you didn't beat Leo, that would be like the asterisk next to it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but he didn't beat Leo, and like, yeah, Samsora is incredible, obviously, but like, it's a different thing. So, and not only that, bro, but he fucking destroyed Leo in Grand.
Yeah, it's a 3-0.
So I looked up the stat actually. Me and Haz talked about this, but since January of 2019, Leo's only 3-0'd one other time in bracket in the best of 5.
Do you know who it was, Chris?
No.
There's really only one good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually someone you probably like. A lot more common of an answer than you'd expect. It's Tweak. He lost to Tweak.
Oh.
Frostbite, right?
Yeah, it was at Frostbite last year. He lost 2-0 to that when he went. What was that? I think it was in the losers at that Umabura tournament where he went Joker for the first time.
He's first learning him, yeah.
Yeah, but he's never lost 3-0. He's only lost 3-0 in a best of 5 set one other time. So,
and that was Ike and Lucina days too.
Yeah, no, that was.
So this is the first Joker. This is the first Joker 3-0, which is crazy.
That's something.
Yeah.
Although, dude, and this was pre-patch too, right? Because Joker actually just got it. Yeah.
Well, it was pre-patch 0-2 too, so it kind of cancels out a little bit. I feel like
we can talk about that.
But I don't know if you guys have rewatched it because I definitely rewatched the set recently. He was down. He was down. Do you remember what happened? Game 2?
Like, yeah, that's what was just on actually.
Yeah, we just showed it on stream. It was dope.
He was down. Leo had Arsene. I think he had Arsene. He at least had 2 stocks left. Mars made a 2-stock comeback basically against Leo, knowing you have to go against Arsene at least twice. Especially Leo's Arsene is just like almost perfect. Like it's just so good. So it was just a ridiculous game. It was one of the best sets I've definitely watched. Obviously a little bit of bias there, but it was really explosive and really good.
Yeah, I looked at it on paper, like I think that's Saturday night, and I'm like, Mars can definitely win this tournament because, you kind of hear about like the perfect storm of circumstances, and like his 2 bracket demons were not in top 8, and the path to him to get into grand finals was Nairo and Tweak, like people that he hasn't beaten recently. You know what I mean?
He still has. I think he has a winning record against Nairo overall, though.
He does, but the last like few sets they've played have been in Nairo's favor, so I'm just going with the more recency sort of thing.
All right.
Granted, I think he could beat Nairo on any given day, also, but just for the recency sake, I'm like, I don't know. I call it as a season.
I'm kidding. No, they definitely have back and forth sets for sure. Yeah. I think Mars was he pulled out early and like it was kind of whooping Nairo, but Nairo's brought it back more recently. I agree.
Yeah, so like. 2 people who have kind of given him fits in the past were eliminated, and the path to him getting to grand finals were against people who he has not just winning records against, but like especially against Esam, like a dominating winning record.
Dude, like, and Meister too is like he's one of the rare top players where Meister's a good draw for him because Zerushu does well in the matchup.
Yeah, no, it definitely was like a perfect storm of circumstances.
However, Mars he only dropped 3 games when he won Genesis, which is fucking ridiculous. But he dropped 2 of those games to Meister. I was like, I think he was up 2-0, and then Light was playing on the other stream. So I was like, all right, Mars has got this. He's never lost to Meister. Zerushu wins the matchup. He'll just play the matchup and win. Then I watched Light's set, and I look back, and I'm like, why the fuck are Mars and Meister still playing? And I was like, it's game 5? Like, what happened? The kid's a demon. He's so good.
Yeah, and like on the other side, Leo, I think Mars had like a bit of a softer bracket to the top 8. Like he didn't really have to play anybody like super pressing until he had to play Meister, I think. I don't know who he had to play before that. But I know he had to play he had to play like one of the Dominican snake mains. And then they had to play.
That was close.
That was a tightly contested game.
This is Mars
for sure.
Didn't he SD? Yes. I feel like the snake SD'd game 1. Like it looked like the snake was kind of dominating, honestly.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I think he lost the first stock and like he was about to lose the first game, but then he kind of handily took care of him the second game.
Was it Bolby?
No, that was the Game and Watch Mania.
That was the Game and Watch. Okay.
Well, let me see this bracket. I'll remember.
Yeah, it's on the So
wow, that is blurry as hell. The heck?
Oh, probably.
That's like fatality. Yeah. Zoom in.
No, it wasn't.
Turn it up.
There's Prodigy, Silent Rain.
Prodigy's really good.
Yeah, that's
Zero
okay.
Mart, Bones, Rhyme.
Oh, it was Omar. That's the guy's name.
Okay, Omar. There you go.
Omar's godlike. He's a really good snake, and Mars is really good at that matchup. So that was like major props to that guy. He played.
I forgot he had
2-0, but it was close.
I forgot he had to play Prodigy also. But on the other side of that, Leo not really having like that. He wasn't really like dominating all weekend. Like he had a game 5 set with Larry at the start of top 64 or like right before top 64.
Yeah, and then a game 5 with Esam.
Yeah, so like things were very, very tightly. He didn't look as polished as he usually does.
Well, this is I think his first tournament back in a while. Like as amazing, dude. The fact that we're like he didn't look polished, he only got second at Genesis is like pretty fucking ridiculous. Like
the bar is
like
high.
What does that say about?
Dude, the bar is high for him. He set that.
It is. It's the highest. Yeah.
He
But
set
you're
that.
right. And well, the thing is that Larry has not only like has Leo kind of been like on his little hiatus, which is fine and great. I think everyone should. I think that's healthy for and kind of expect that your results might not be where they are.
Sure.
I think that's great. I think it's cool that he does that, and not only that, but like he lost like a fucking champion. Like he tweeted afterwards, he goes, "Congrats to Mars. He's amazing. That's some of the best Smash Ultimate I've ever played." He was never like, "Fuck Zero Suit. Like that was bullshit. I should have won."
Yeah,
like,
none of that.
None of
salty
that
stuff.
fucking bullshit,
yeah.
man. None of that salty. And he's just such a fucking winner, dude. I just appreciate that a lot about MkLeo. You know, being our number one rep in this game it's such an important position to be in, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was quite a set to behold, and the whole top 8 in general was a fantastic watch, and I highly recommend everyone go back and watch it. Genesis, like the top 8 in the theater just hits different, and it was so much fun to watch. You know, I'm a little upset because like obviously Nairo and Tweak and the Buzz all kind of missed out on top 8, so you know the Tri-State homies took a hit. But at the plus side, I can like fully invest all my energy into Mars, and just seeing how like. Just seeing how much it meant to him, like as someone that's known Mars for since the come up, obviously not as long as you has, but I've known him for for a minute, and just to see how excited he got, it really just like it brought tears to my eyes. It was truly a beautiful thing.
Fucking yeah, I hated that kid when I first met him. It was awesome. Well, dude, he was like 15. He was just like had this little teenager attitude, but he was also like a top player. So it was like, what the fuck? So our first interaction was him being rude to me and me being rude back to him. Like I was like, who the fuck are you? And then I watched him play. I was like, oh fuck, like he's really good. God damn it. But obviously, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen him, just want it so bad and be so close so many times, and I'm just so glad, like especially in grands when it could have easily gone Leo's way game 1. In game 2, Leo just looked like he had the download and he just didn't let it happen. Game 3, he almost SD'd for no reason, but actually turned it into his fortune, like kept his head on straight, and just like I swear, and I tell him this all the time, and it's no bullshit, and I tell Light similar shit, or any kind of high level player that I like. I'm like, dude, if you play your game, you can beat anyone. I'm not saying like you will or like it's guaranteed to happen, but it's the fucking truth, man. Like if you play your game, you don't let the other person intimidate you or run into their dumb bullshit, you can fucking win. Mm-hmm. So happy to see him take it home. Of course, that was I think my favorite tournament I've ever been a spectator for, which was great.
Yeah, especially because like he's like Mars is one of my favorite players because he cares so much. Like the emotion that he shows, like under any circumstances, it's like truly something you can root for. And like he's again, it couldn't have happened to a better kid. And I'm happy to, he's won the C tiers and the B tiers and the A tiers, but finally being able to cross that, that S tier off of his list to like solidify. Because on any given day, like I think that 1 through 5 can all like jockey for the best players in the world. And I'm just super happy for him, and I hope he continues to trailblaze, considering the fact that his character got nerfed like 2 days later.
Yeah, that's something. So you want to talk about the nerfs now?
Yeah, is there anything else you want to mention about Genesis Taz?
No, it was great, man. I had a wonderful time. It's so good to see it. It is good to get on the West Coast. I've been to a ton of East Coast tournaments lately, and I love getting out to the West Coast. So obviously the weather's nicer out there. I had a great time.
Oh my god, 60 degrees and rain, never or an overcast, like never felt so great before. Like it did wonders for my mental health.
Yeah.
So do we want to talk about the bad stuff before we move on to the patch? I
mean, it's probably worth noting. So we could probably keep it simple. So there was some I guess controversy of the location because with big tournaments comes accessible locations, and sometimes accessible locations happen to be in cities that cities are notorious for crime all around the world just because there's a lot of people in a dense area. So I think that is kind of what the conversation is.
Right. So for me, it's kind of like I think what it comes down to is if people don't feel safe parking their cars at a venue, I don't think they're going to want to come back. And I think that's a legitimate complaint to have about a tournament. Like I parked my shit here and it got broken into. obviously, like, it doesn't necessarily need to roll up into complaining about the city at large or anything like that, but literally shit was happening at the venue. So for me, I'm like, I don't really give a shit about talking about crime statistics in Oakland or here or there. It's like you need to do something about the immediate problem that is happening right at the venue. Because when people complain about real personal shit, real first person experiences that they go through, and they say this affected how much of a good time I had at this event, a car getting broken into, or I think some people, I didn't really read a lot of the other ones, but I think a lot of dogpiling happened too, where someone was like, yeah, my car got broken into, and other people were like, oh, me too, which was all like probably pretty legitimate. But then people were like, I felt unsafe, and it's like, well, what does that really mean? I can't really like, does that really, are you just, not experienced in being around a city? Because I mean, when you got to consider like the age and like the general awareness that smashers kind of have sometimes. Like they're usually younger and like don't really go out into cities or venture around too much. So if you're a younger person and you're in an unfamiliar city, there's a good chance you might just stumble into, you might wander a little too far. You might look up a place and say, oh, that looks good, let's walk there. It's only a few blocks away, but it's like a few blocks the wrong direction, and then suddenly it's like,
some
people
shit. Some people don't have that experience yet, but I will beg to say that that is sort of part of growing up. But I don't think that the safety concern should ever be shrugged off, especially because there was an issue. I mean, what, a little over a year ago now, issue of basically someone getting shot at a Madden tournament, and then after that there was a lot of up in arms talk just going around about like, hey, listen, we need to up event security, the yada yada yada, and then now it seems to be going the other way for some reason.
To be fair, and I said this too, is that I feel like one of the things is someone pointed out like this doesn't happen at the Big House or Frostbite, which are tournaments that happen in Detroit, and I had a pretty fucking mild take in my opinion. That was, well, those happen in the fall and winter in Detroit, so nobody goes outside. Everyone stays in the safe venue or in the hotel and doesn't really venture around. I think with Genesis, people, since it was warm out and since you're with all your buddies, you go wandering around and you might just find yourself into trouble, and that might not. I don't really care what city it happens in. Like, let's just
it does. It totally just happens.
It just definitely can happen, and that can happen in Boston. I love Boston so much, and I think it's a great city overall. But that doesn't mean that you can just wander around all willy nilly and expect everything to be fine all the time.
You could say the same thing. You could say the same thing about New York City during Let's Make Big Moves. Like, the appeal of New York City is that everything's open late, but I still want to recommend walking around the city at 4:00 in the morning by yourself. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. I wouldn't recommend that in any city, man.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's just not, and I think when I got in, I landed I went to SFO, and then I took the BART, and like I took the public transit, and I walked to the venue, and everything was fine. But like, I'm a fucking adult, and I've lived in the city for 5.5, 6 years now. I know what I'm doing, and like, don't get me wrong, the first time I went and took the T and did all that stuff in Boston, even though I was in nice areas, I was like hyper alert and like very aware of my surroundings. And I feel like if you take the equation of who smashers are naturally as people, in terms of you might be just goofing around with your buddies or not paying attention, you might end up in some trouble if you're not paying attention or paying attention to your surroundings. And like, coupled with there's real hard concrete evidence that people who parked at the venue had their cars broken into. I think that's a fucking legitimate complaint.
That's
and
real.
I'm not saying fuck Oakland. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm saying let's fix the immediate problem, which is people want to feel safer at the venue. Or parking their cars at the very least. Like, if I feel like that's a pretty fair overall complaint. I don't really care about, crime rates or any of that shit. And I think it's a very valid and legitimate complaint. I don't know, I think that's fair. Anything else, I don't know, if people had run-ins with, I read shit about, homeless people or just kind of, unpleasant people in general. I can't really speak to those because there's not, it didn't happen to me, but like I said,
that stuff is real, though. I mean, there's homeless people in cities.
Happen, yeah.
There's centers made for it. I don't think it shouldn't be a mysterious concept, but if you're young, it is very possible that you've just never experienced it because you got to experience it for a first time somewhere.
Yeah. But the thing is, where do you draw the line between toughen up, and okay, yeah, that's a fair and legitimate complaint. It's a tough line. I think it's a personal flavor for everyone. If you've been in a city and you've lived in the city for a long time, you're naturally more used to it, and things don't bother you as much. It just doesn't matter as much. But if you've never seen that before, it might scare you a bit.
Definitely.
Yeah. I use the example. but I use the example of a lot of
I
people.
really wish your headphones would stop cutting out.
Yeah,
it just happens right as you start talking.
This is doing it. Jesus Christ, am I good now?
Yeah, you're good
for
you're
now.
good.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. I use the example. I use the example
For now.
Earlier of Jabali and CEO Daytona about like the steps that you take as a tournament organizer to like make sure that like your attendees are safe and stuff like that. And you know, when he deemed that Daytona wasn't safe, he moved it back to CEO back to Orlando.
Yeah.
So you know, with enough outcry, things can change.
And you were saying it earlier too, we were talking about it, but there were a lot of steps that were taken because it wasn't just like he was like, yeah, fuck it, let's move out of this area. He like asked a lot of people, he like gathered data and then brought it to, I think he went to town hall is what he did in Daytona. And so he like followed all this stuff. But Jabali's like a one in a kind fucking human, you know, and I don't want to, I say that because I don't want them to put it on the TOs. Like, it's the TOs' fault. They should just find a nicer venue. Like, that's an easy fucking solve. It's hard. And we even talked about this later. Like, the problem is we don't have cash flow to just be like, yeah, here's a great, you know, incredibly safe area that no one will run into any problems in. It's just kind of like, this is what we can afford and, like, do the best with it and just be aware of your surroundings. And when people complain about shit, don't tell them to just toughen up. Say, I hear you. Yeah, that sucks. Like, you know, it happens sometimes. Just be, you know, I think it's just be mindful. A lot of people just need to be mindful, bro. Because I didn't really feel, I felt fine, but like I said, I'm like a grown person who's lived in the city for a while. And even then it was like, I always, when I'm in, I don't care what city it is. If I'm in an unfamiliar place, I always double check, you know, when I cross streets, or I double check, you know, just everything, man. Just be careful.
Like it goes with any sort of new area you're in. Like, be aware of your surroundings, and like always travel in pairs. Like, it's just common sense. I
think common sense stuff would cut back on this a lot, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
Like people are still gonna blame
people.
Like, people parked their cars in a parking lot under the guise it would still be there, not broken into. So like, that's a problem.
So, that's tricky. So then I guess that does kind of branch out to larger event security, which might be a venue thing, to be honest. And yeah, I guess if the venue's not working on with you on that type of thing, because you know that's real. Me driving my car, who knows where I'm driving it from, could be far if I'm going to a tournament of Genesis caliber, and if it gets broken into, that's a big issue. So me going to your event,
or even someone you care about, your carpool, suddenly 5 people aren't going, and then it's like, oh well, those people aren't going. 15
and
people aren't
those
going.
are the people paying the venue fee and making stuff happen. So as far as raising event security for something that's happened on multiple occasions, I don't think that should really be a toughen up thing as much as it should be like, okay, the experience to which we're trying to provide in our tournament is that people are paying for is not, it basically is one that is costing now more for someone just to show up than you know, than just the ticket price.
It's tough, man. And honestly, I've only seen things on Twitter, so I don't know any of the data, like how many cars were broken into. Like, I mean, the bottom line, obviously, the number should be 0, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, at least 3 cars were broken into.
3.
So
that's not good. So
yeah, at least for like what I saw. It sucks, man. Like, you hate to see it happen,
but I hate, like, some of the discourses, like, pretty much just shut up about it and toughen up. It's like, dude, that's not a good way to, like, you know, like, that's not a good discourse or conversation to have, when it should be, I hear you, like, yeah, that can happen in a city, like, here's some strategies, or here's how to do a little bit better, or hey, I'd be happy to show you around, or, you know, do some shit like that. But instead, it's like, it just turned into such toxic fucking spinning where people just took their personal experiences or personal experiences of people they know personally. So personal experience A is, my car got broken into. I hate that. I don't want to come back to Genesis. Fuck that. And then other people say, no, I know Oakland. It's a great city. This is my personal experience. And like, people just butt heads over like their own personal experiences. Like, what a waste of time, instead of trying to find middle ground. Like, it
like,
sucks.
Bro, I'm just trying to go to a tournament and have my car be safe. That's literally the only thing to say to that.
Right.
Like, I don't care about your city. Like, just I paid for this good time. I traveled.
So, like, because an obvious counter argument is, if you say, hey, here's a hotel, it's in a nicer area, it's still in Oakland, but like, it should solve the problem of people feeling, you know, unsafe when they walk around at a reasonable hour, and the car shouldn't get broken into because it has an indoor garage. Do you think people will still be like, fuck Oakland? No, they'll be like, that sounds good, thanks, that's cool. Like,
definitely.
So it's not, that's what I'm saying, is that people are like, oh, it's Oakland. No, it isn't Oakland. And the obvious argument is it's the fucking area where the tournament happened, because that's where the fucking car break-ins happened. And then other people started complaining about other things in the area. I thought it was, again, like I said, I thought it was okay, but that's because, lived in the city for a while now, and I know kind of how it works, and I know, how to be mindful and not go places I don't know where they go and all that stuff. It's just, I honestly, it's the bottom line is it's about safety, and like, people shouldn't. I don't know.
You shouldn't try to undermine somebody's like.
That's like a gaslighting type thing, which for anyone who wants to come into our psychology podcast will understand. Well, no, it's real, man. Gaslighting's real.
Right.
Like, it's a bigger topic, though.
Not gaslighting, bro.
Hey, listen, you guys got a problem. I'm sorry.
The gloves have officially come off.
Yeah, the gloves are off, boys. This is it.
Done been off. No, but you're right. Like, I just think the conversation isn't productive. It's just not. It's not, because people are arguing about personal experiences instead of what the underlying issue is.
It's really difficult to have productive conversation with like a social media platform. That's just open.
I will say, Genesis putting out a feedback sheet was at least like a nice way to try to like extend the olive branch to people that might have felt like, what sort of look for, like, devalued in their experience about what happened.
Yeah.
So,
and to their credit, that's exactly what Jabili did. I'm pretty sure he asked people about the area, or at least talked about it on social media more. But like, the point is to kind of get a consensus. But the problem with those sheets is I feel like it's kind of biased, because if people have a problem, they're more likely to take the time to fill it out. And if you had a good time, it's kind of like, I don't think I'll do that,
Sure, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But other than that, Genesis was fantastic.
We had a great time, no problem.
Yeah, weather was nice, food was good, after party was fun. Yeah, cannot complain. 10 out of 10. I'm probably gonna go back next year. So
I'll definitely go back. Yeah, because I mean, that's if I felt unsafe going to a tournament, I personally wouldn't go back. But since I felt fine, I'm gonna go back. You know what I mean? And I think that just kind of naturally will really ultimately dictate if the area was acceptable by the community or not.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, the conversation is one that needed to be had at the very least. But then we move forward to last Tuesday, where the meta has officially been shown once again with the addition of another Fire Emblem character. So that happened. So
disappointment.
So 7.0.0 is here, as well as Byleth Fire Emblem from the Fire Emblem series. I'm sorry, I almost threw up in my mouth.
That's their last name.
Saying it out loud.
Their last name is Fire Emblem.
No, I'm just being a jerk.
I wish. You know what, man? I don't know if you guys have seen Nintendo sales numbers on Fire Emblem Heroes, but it's hard to really blame them.
I just think it should have happened at the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not logical. It doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we actually never got your take on like how you felt about the character being added in general. So is that like where you?
Oh, you can catch it at the Hard Reads podcast last week. You can get my.
Nice plug. Love it. Shout out.
Boring, slow, not for me. If you know anything, that's just not how I like to.
The last girl I wanted to date with said the same exact thing to me.
What's that? She didn't like Byleth?
No.
She just said I hate range characters.
Yeah, I'm too much of a distance demon.
I've heard several things, and I actually got to watch DeBuzz come to DNA last week and just use only Byleth and only get third still. So there was that. And the one thing I will say, I've heard everything from the character is basically like Ganon, but like ranged to like this character is OP because it could kill you at like 50 on the ledge.
Initially I was very underwhelmed, just like everyone else was with the character. After seeing some B&Bs, I was like, okay, looking decent. And then I started getting ledge trapped by the character. I was like, ooh, the ledge trapping's pretty good too. And then like it's all kind of coming together. And I've seen like some clips from Byleth, and like character has zero sauce. Like that's facts. It's just not a cool character. Like just not a cool character. But that's okay. Sometimes there's not cool characters and they're good. Like whatever, that happens. But it's definitely as time goes on, I'm more and more impressed with the character. Currently thinking it's like a high mid tier, something like that. It's just I don't know.
I just watched the Buzz do Nair and forward smash, and definitely zeros on the screen now. But
dude, it keeps cutting out, bro.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Hold on, let me try to fix it.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Keep talking.
The one thing I'll say is like, at least the characters is like kind of different than anyone that is in the game. I sort of appreciate what they were trying to do. I just don't think it translated to like the Ultimate Engine that well, because it is just like very slow and just everything is kind of read based, and that sort of like, I guess that's fun in a sense, but
it's like
also
the game.
kind of
Isn't that like Fire Emblem? Isn't that how Fire Emblem is supposed to be played? Like kind of like turn based and like slow and like strategic, and like use the right weapon for the right scenario. Isn't that like it's like the ultimate Fire Emblem?
Traditionally, yeah, that is what happens. And the thing is, and sometimes you get the critical hits. Like I think it does. It plays true enough to like the concept of the Fire Emblem character, and I could appreciate it. But I don't know. Yeah. All I could tell you is watching a low-level Byleth do like Ditto is probably the most displeasing thing I've ever seen. I honestly got to see that too, and it was just I wanted to fall asleep. It's just like things moving very slow and very drawn out.
Not an interesting character to watch for sure.
Who needs melatonin?
Which is bad. Which is bad because they're brand new. Which is usually at least the novelty of like they're new. Let's see what they can do is cool. It's like.
Some people are really excited about the character still, and I could kind of appreciate that because the character does have some kind of cool stuff, like the fact that you could kill Donkey Kong and an up B and a Nair and another up B, and that's it from zero is amazing.
Is that cool for Byleth, or is that just more a series of unfortunate events for Donkey Kong?
I think it's just maybe a little bit of both. So here's the thing, and then like there's just a lot of potential still. Like even this combo that's on the screen right now, like this is at 62%, and it looks like nothing really happens. It's just up B into up smash, and like that's it. So it's like there's things.
Great.
You know what I mean? There's definitely things that are developing. I've even seen Gimmer talk about some of the tech just on the ledge, creative ways to get back on stage, and just the fact that if you read someone getting off the ledge at like the perfect distance, which it's not that hard to really do because it's like just a really far distance, you kill really early. So I don't know. Maybe it'll shake the meta to some degree. It's just a little underwhelmingly. So maybe.
I think even less so than Byleth. I think some of these patches are going to be enormous for the meta, like very, very big.
Well, yeah, there was like actual real things that happened as far as
Zelda's
like,
almost a character.
Dude, Zelda got a lot of love. Pally got Link. Some nerfs. Young Link that character is already disgusting, and now that the extended tether is really something.
This patch is cursed.
Young Link deserved it because he
did he? Though?
He was. No, he was like high tier, but very demanding. Like his combo windows are really tight. He's hard to play. Like you have to do a lot. And like if you mess one thing up, you just like it's so frustrating. Like messing up his like kill confirm or something, and then you have to find another one somehow with him. It's like what the fuck? So I think he was a great candidate for a small buff, which is what he got. Like he got like a medium sized buff.
Yeah, but regardless, your original point being how like just the whole game is sort of like I don't know, they're definitely we haven't seen like a ton of nerfs. It's been mostly buffs all around. I mean, the nerfs of Palu were a little bit surprising to me, or they're not surprising, but also surprising all in the same. If you
Joker, Palu, and ZSS, I think were the biggest nerfs.
Yeah, like
yes.
People saying Joker's totally gutted, or basically the fact that the down guns work different, and I guess Arsene you lose a lot quicker upon getting hit.
Everyone's suddenly playing Cloud again. And like I watch clips, I'm like, these clips have nothing to do with the buffs he got, but that's cool.
I've thought
like
that every single
always
one.
Well,
the limit is nice. Yeah, his limit charging really fast, like a lot faster, and it is a lot faster, is big, and the up smash is incredible. Like that up smash that he has now is a really good option in a lot of just you just spam it and it works.
Yeah. Cloud's never getting gimped ever again.
Yeah, it's hard for sure, and especially because not just the limit, but the lead snapping from below.
It's noticeable too. He snaps a lot better to ledge.
Ken got buffed for no fucking reason. Okay, like
dude, okay, those
please God, why?
Those are bad. Those are toxic buffs. I'm sorry, but like being able to cancel down smash is not okay.
Honestly, even after all this time, I don't really know how it's going to work into his combo tree. I assume it's good, but I can't really like. It's hard to like relearn muscle memory. I just need to see some other Ken kind of string it together. I've seen like
all right.
In my opinion, it's better for Ryu. Is how I felt about it. Is he can combo at high percentages with the fast fireball from far away with down smash.
Just
So and my thought here is they buffed Ken because he's an Echo, and Ryu got the buffs. That was my thought because he got the same buffs as Ryu with the down smash, and the only ones that he got were ones that Ryu also got: the down smash, the Tatsu invulnerability, and the shield size. So I was like, I think they just did that so that they didn't want Ken to kind of fall behind just because he didn't get a buff and Ryu did it and Terry came out. So it's like, So my thought was like Ken didn't need a buff, but I truly feel that. Like I feel like he was fine before. Like he was like a mid high tier character. He's great.
Well,
but now it's like, what the fuck?
the thing about the down smash, more so like not as much of it like leading into anything combo wise, but like how do you? It's like such a mix of how do you even react to it? Like you could just be charging that thing and then do
Are you talking about the
anything
Kara?
else.
Are you talking about the Kara? The Kara down
Yeah,
smash?
that's crazy.
Oh, that seems like honestly I haven't learned it yet because I think it's a
It looks
bug and I think they're
difficult.
gonna fix it.
Do you
It's
think so?
okay.
You don't think it's
Yeah, I
like
think it's definitely a bug, dude.
It's not Olimar Shield.
Think about it this way: is that before they couldn't cancel down smash into a special move, and now now you can Kara cancel out a down smash, not doing anything. They definitely bugged how they canceled the down smash. Like it should be gone. It looks like a glitch to me, at least. I mean, if they keep it in, that's dope, and I'll definitely learn it. But I'm holding off for like a patch or two.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, either way, the Tatsu was a huge buff. Being
I
able
think
to
that
go
was the
through, like,
biggest.
everything basically.
Dude, it's like I started to learn neutral and started thinking about a month ago, like really, really start thinking about neutral, and now I just mashed. I'm like, I don't really know what to do.
Well,
Side B.
So I
And
saw
it works like 50% of the time.
I saw
Fucking side B.
I saw Tatsu basically like just kind of clank with Flare Blitz, and I was just like, what is this?
It's the lower half of vulnerability. Don't know
It's-
why they did it.
That's crazy.
What did I go over recently? I forget. There's something I did, and I saved the replay. I'll try to find it, but I have a clip, and I need to upload it. But I've been moving, so I haven't been able to upload it. Where I was playing a snake online, and I Tatsu'd him, and it was last stock. And as I was Tatsuing him, his C4 blew up, and it killed him. And I was gonna be like, "Whoa, these bots really are crazy!" Like he Tatsu, and he just literally explodes. So I was like, But yeah, it helps a lot in some problematic matchups. Like Inkling will be a lot better.
Oh, dude, other I just remembered other buffs, like the fact that the shield sizes were increased for so many characters just to eliminate shield pokes. Like Rosa now has such an advantage because Luma doesn't get poked at
Covers
anymore.
Luma.
Yeah, so
I think the Belmont still can poke her, but so that's okay. But
I think that should be
kind of a
okay
special case.
considering how much else is going on in that matchup. But for the most part, like that's like a really good quality of life change because that I think was one of those things that just it really affected some characters. Rosa being one of them, and I think Omar has like a bigger shield now too. Like
Definitely,
a lot of people do.
They're huge ones, and that's a stealth buff to anyone who has good shield pressure because instead of poking shields with your shield breaking tools, it'll break them on purpose. You know, like which is Ken and Ryu, by the way. Like in case you hadn't connected that one, like they have full screen shield break setups at this point because they just won't shield poke anymore.
Each day we stray farther from God's life.
Honestly, and I was saying this, is that Ken might be the worst of the three, which is just saying that they're all really good. But I was like, honestly, because I was a little torn between Ken and Terry before, but I think overall Terry might have better matchup spread. And then Ryu just got like the craziest buffs. Like I think Ryu got the craziest buffs this patch. It's up there at least. Like he's in terms of jumping in the tier list, he went from non-existent to everyone is already fucking scared of him for no reason. Like how did that happen?
Because Smash 4.
Yeah, I mean
flashbacks. War flashbacks.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Ken didn't need any buffs, man. That's all I'm saying. He didn't. Like, I'll be the first to say that. He did not need any buffs. He was fine.
Well, he got him.
Yeah.
You may not ask for him, but he got him.
Someone on the dev team plays the Shotos. Like,
you know
very
what?
closely.
I sort of think this is some weird conspiracy where Capcom is going to team with Nintendo and the Switch is going to be like a competitive like piece of equipment. So now people are going to translate from Smash to play Street Fighter V because the tournaments are going to be hosted on Switches or something.
It's possible.
Could you imagine?
People
if
said
there was,
that
like,
that's why
crazy...
Cloud got buffed too. Because FF7R is coming out soon.
Wait, so that means that we're due for villager buffs.
And if
like
you recall, Bayo was wow, that'd be something. Bayo was was really good when Bayonetta 3 was coming out, or I'm sorry, when all like the Bayonetta like so. It might seem like BS, or maybe it's just coincidental, but I don't know. It's something that's happening. That's all.
So you're saying that Bayo's never going to be good again because Bayo 3 is never coming out.
Doc got buffs. I forgot about that.
Yes.
No one cares though. He still sucks.
Yeah, you know why Doc? Here, I'll show you exactly why no one cares about Doc buffs. Hold on, I gotta find it.
It's like they took things and made him dumber in the ways he was already dumb, but didn't help any of his problems.
You need to look closely at this chart. Look, Dr. Mario World only makes 4.8 million mobile.
Mm-hmm.
You see Byleth's
That's still
game,
a lot.
Yeah, but not compared to 656 million. That's nothing.
That number is fucking insane, by the way.
Dude, all I'm saying is 656 million is a big number. That's all.
I forgot Zelda got major buffs too.
But like,
yeah.
I don't. And let me just tell you, as someone who just started playing Three Houses, that game is fantastic.
Why did Samus get buffed? Samus is so toxic and was already decent.
Oh my God! Yeah, the Samus buffs. What the heck? Those are.
That
like,
might be the biggest buff. Those actually might be the biggest.
Yeah,
it's Ryu or Samus.
What do you think the impact is of like that on the tier list? Because Samus is like
enormous.
It has
I
to
agree.
Be. Think about
enormous, dude.
Samus Online, and then now like a lot of the things that would happen online like can happen in real life just because the moves work better instead of just
shout us the wrong lever.
You had that. Was he the? I don't know if he was the best Samus, but a player named Joker. He's one of the best Samuses, if not straight up the best.
Yeah, the guy from
He's
Mexico.
Amazing. And watching him play, I was just like, this character is so dumb. Did he beat James really? Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Switch Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like this character is dumb and like really good. I think she just doesn't get a lot of play because I love Samus. I love Super Metroid. I love Metroid the franchise. I think it's great, but not like a very interesting character to play in my opinion. Like just not super. Like she's kind of floaty and spams projectiles and like her recovery takes forever and like all that shit.
Sauce.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much no sauce. Yeah, minimal sauce. Unless you get a shield break, then she's got sauce all of a sudden.
Yeah,
but like
she's just
more sauce than Byleth. That's
just pure zoner. I mean,
well,
yeah, definitely.
She hasn't been tuned up since Melee. You know, like she's had the same moveset since Melee.
Jesus Christ.
Homing missile, super missile, down B bomb, Zair, tether, out screw attack, up B, charge shot. She's had the same moveset, and that's the same thing with all the characters from N64 Melee. Like they've barely been touched up, bro.
And that is just a dark variant.
Who is very cool and has a Spider-Man pose when she jumps or when they jump. I think it's a parasite. I don't really think it has a gender.
Yeah, I think that was the correct verbiage.
Link is the most changed character from 64. Don't at me.
But even then, it's bomb, arrow. No boomerang that got separated out. Or no, it does. He does a boomerang.
He still has boomerang.
Yeah, barely changed.
No tether grab though.
No, I think there is a character from 64 that got changed pretty significantly. Forget who it was.
Donkey Kong?
Well, no. I mean, Mario is pretty different.
I know Flood and Cape are pretty huge. He at least got a new special move throughout Brawl and Melee. And then he stopped.
Luigi's a totally different character. I mean,
yeah, the green missile.
Yeah.
Anybody got that
green missile in 64?
No, there's no side special.
Now he's got that stupid plunger thing too.
Like. Yeah, but even these were like the general play style is like pretty much the same. Like if you played Luigi in N64 and didn't play a Smash game until Ultimate, you'd be like, oh yeah, I kind of remember this. This fire Shoryuken and the down B still there, the neutral B. It's all exactly the same.
I could see that.
All of his specials are exactly the same except for the new ones.
All right.
So the bottom line is this patch is cursed.
No, this patch is great.
Okay, yeah, you know you're right. I forgot about the song.
Man, we're waiting for those Belmont buffs. Honestly, I don't want them to get buffed either. Just like
that's
yeah.
If they buff the Belmonts, the dev team has officially lost.
They're too polarizing. They just need to be the characters that they are. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like they're great at some matchups and bad at other ones. Like whatever. It's fun.
They're fun as hell. They're a drug, and if they get buffed, I'm going to hate them.
Bro, I love them. They're like, I was thinking about it. I was like they might be my favorite addition in Smash in a very long time. Like Ken's a little different, but like, dude, they're so fucking cool.
Yeah, like I think my favorite part about Smash Ultimate and like all the characters that are included are just like the different merchandise of the different characters I can buy. Like Castlevania merches and like shout out to the Spiff shirt that they made this week that they had on sale at Genesis. It was a Castlevania themed long sleeve shirt, which I'm a huge fan of. I got a Richter charm that was really, really cool. and just like God, like the amount of Castlevania merch I can buy in the year 2020 is fantastic.
Well, and Konami played ball. They gave them a ton of music. The bosses, like they really did it big, which is really cool.
Yeah, Konami gave you the keys, and it's a key.
It is Konami, right? I kind of just shot.
Yeah, it's Konami.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, neat.
Yeah, so now we patiently await whenever the next update is, which is probably I assume we're gonna play in this patch for a while. Like I don't think
there's a rumor that there's 2 Nintendo Directs coming in February. That's just a rumor though. One might be Animal Crossing, which I think is coming out in February.
It comes out in March.
So that definitely could be a Direct for Animal Crossing, and then Pokemon or just a general. It could be one of those Nintendo Indie Directs, which are cool too.
Those are
obviously
those are a lot of fun. Cool. I'm excited for Animal Crossing. Did you guys see the Switch that revealed? By the way,
yeah. I wish they'd do more limited Switches like that, and I wish Smashes was cooler.
I wish I could warrant buying more than one Switch, but I can't. I really can't,
dude. Even the Joy-Cons, I want more. I want those like really nice looking Joy-Cons, but those things are $80. Like that's a hefty penny.
That's lunch.
Yeah.
Because like with the 3DS, I was able to warrant buying the special edition one. Like it was a small enough system, and I could just like trade it in and just like upgrade to the newest hardware. But like for a Switch, it feels kind of like pointless.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough to justify, but man, the hardware does look really nice. So
I'm soaking in first world.
Yeah,
but I can't buy
very first world.
Like the Switch Mini feels great in the hands, but like I just don't need one. Like it defeats the purpose of the Switch.
Did you guys see this Kamikaze and DeBuzz's? I can't believe that hit. Why'd that hit?
I hate this character so much. Hero's so cool though, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how quickly we get another patch. Because if the rumor mill's correct, then the next DLC wave is going to start off with a bang.
Well, time out. When is the next DLC supposed to be?
It's supposed to be spread out throughout the next 2 years.
It's Spider Pass 2.
So 6 characters over 2 years. So we're looking at one every like quarter and a half or quarter.
Yeah, it's a Fire Emblem character every 3 months. So
imagine it was literally just a Fire Emblem character every. Oh boy, people would be mad.
I mean,
tell you.
I mean, I said it on the last podcast we did about the DLC, but I'm expecting at least one of these characters to be a Pokemon. Like I'm wholeheartedly.
I hope so.
To happen. Like
I think it'll be that new like Ryu looking. I think it was a monkey.
Yeah,
Urshifu. Yeah, dope name. Yeah, he's like a kung fu. Is he a bear or a monkey?
I think it's a panda bear.
Is he a bear? Okay, my bad.
Yeah. There's also the Pokemon company said that they're revealing a new mythical Pokemon at the end of the month. So I saw somebody jokingly be like, "Oh, this is our new Smash character, guys."
It could be.
I mean, maybe.
It's just.
I like Urshifu. Yeah, he's a bear.
Yeah, so it's gonna be that or like one of the starter Pokemon again, probably, which should be interesting. I'd like it to be. I wanted to put the grass one in.
Is there like a new like Pikachu? No. You know what I mean? Like he's not a starter Pokemon, but he's like looked at like a starter Pokemon. Has that happened?
Well, like in regards to like a Lucario character, where like it's incredibly popular but not a starter.
Yeah, but Pokemon. Not a starter.
This generation, I think it's Toxicity.
Yeah,
that's the one that a lot of people.
Toxicity.
It's Toxicity. Yeah, that name always screws me up. Yeah, that's like the popular.
Toxicity.
Toxicity. There
Toxicity.
We go.
Okay, yeah, because I couldn't.
Yeah. No, it's an electric poison type.
Oh yeah, I've seen this
salamander looking thing. I actually don't know what kind of animal.
You might be on some kind of
lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be. I'd be down with that dude in Smash. He looks cool.
Are these? Is this a shiny and a regular?
No, so it has 2 forms depending on what its nature is. But I think it's strictly an aesthetic change. Nothing like stat wise. I think. Right? Am I correct in that?
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure.
Because like
I use it in my playthrough, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's mostly an aesthetic thing. Because like if you look at its chest, it's supposed to like it's got these like appendages on its chest that are supposed to like represent like guitar strings. So like the amped up version's a guitar because it has 6, and the low key form has 4 because it's supposed to be like a bass guitar, I guess. I don't think there's any like I don't think there's any stat differences. I think it's merely just like it's an aesthetic change.
Maybe the abilities are different.
No, I think the abilities stay the same too. So
low key formed and amp form. That's what I'm saying.
It's just a nature thing. So your IVs are obviously different, but
wait, nature doesn't affect your IVs, bro.
EVs, my bad.
Nature doesn't affect your EVs, bro.
So what am I doing? It's your stats.
Nature is a 10% increase and a 10% decrease in your base stat total.
Right, so that's what I meant. I'm still waking up from a nap.
And then EVs are effort values that you get either KOing or eating vitamins, and you earn EVs to boost stats. And then IVs are natural born stats that your Pokemon have on a scale from 0 to 31. So you can have 0 to 30 plus 0 or plus anywhere from plus 0 to plus 31 on any stat with IVs. So perfect Pokemon has 6. It's called 6 IV. There's 6 IV. You have all 6 IVs are plus 31. So there you go. Now you all know.
Tune in for our side podcast where Haz teaches us about Pokemon, which I think would be cool.
Dude, I love Pokemon, bro.
Yeah, I love Pokemon. I'm so excited to I've been talking to a friend of the podcast.
Bro, they do have different abilities. Plus and minus.
Do they? Oh, okay.
Dude,
I forgot.
I think you guys would really like Three Houses.
I actually haven't.
I'm just saying. Listen, you like putting abilities and customizing and IVs and EVs. Like all I'm saying is Three Houses has that in spades, stuff like that.
I already have a game for that. Jeez.
All right, fine. Play your.
It's called Luigi.
Play your baby.
It's called Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
We do have Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, I've been talking to a friend of the podcast, Ajax, about Pokemon, so I'm excited for some developments to go down.
There's some people going to competitive Pokemon. I think Biddy's going to a competitive, a VGC or something or other.
Yeah, there's a VGC event in Iceland.
I don't think Biddy's going to that one. I think he's just
then there must be another one.
I think he's just going to something local around here.
Nice.
But I was just interested to see that people are actually going.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I love Pokemon, so I'm excited to see people dive into that. But
that's like one of those real world things. Like that's what you want. Like you want people Pokemon battling, like in the future. You know?
Do we?
I think so. That's like everyone seems to like the Pokemon format. Why wouldn't,
Only if they're all voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Boys, we got a Evo lineup coming shortly.
Oh, true. Yeah, we do. I actually forgot that was happening today. So
wait, what? Yeah, wasn't there? Was that today? Was there an announcement?
It's happening today.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet because it's West Coast, obviously. Wait, so what the heck time is it supposed to happen?
7, 8 o'clock or something, maybe.
It's happening right now, I guess.
Oh, interesting.
7 p.m. Happening right now, actually.
Yeah. So I guess we can talk about the Twitter stuff for this past week because I think Mars made fun of a table and it made people really upset. I know has
bro, between Oakland, people getting their cars broken into, and Mars making fun of or complaining about a table. When can people complain again? That's what I want to know. And obviously, there's a time where people complain too much about shit, but these are pretty legitimate things. The first one, more so, complaining because your car got broken into. That's more than 100% legitimate. Fine. The Mars thing, I can't believe the shit he said was the most mild of things. He was laughing at a table, and it turns out
the way these guys look down at the monitor.
Dude, did you read his non-apology tweet? Pretty fucking funny.
It's pretty great.
I'll pull it up. Or you have to pull it up. Yeah.
All right. It's Mars's apology tweet? I'll find
his non-apology.
All right.
He specifically did not apologize.
All right, let's see here.
But so if you go back to that picture too at some point.
Wait. Oh, I'll open it in another window actually. Here. We'll have this one.
So, dude, can we just look at that real quick?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me, by the way? One of my
Yeah. You're good.
So, nice as a nice camera, projector, esports chairs, the gamer chairs, everything looks good. The cameras look nice at the table, and then there's just a fucking hilarious, horrible table.
It's like a wire rope spool.
It's so out of place and hilarious. And so I was, commenting on this, and someone that went there was like, it's unfortunate. He worked, I guess he was either a commentator or worked production there, and they were like, we were doing it at this bar restaurant thing, and they wouldn't let us use our own table. And I was like, that sucks. Then I was like, well, then why is everyone getting mad if this literally wasn't somebody's choice? Like, why the fuck is everyone getting mad that he's laughing at this? Like, it's funny. Like, it's just a funny thing, and it's okay to expect your C-tier event where one of the best players in the world loses to a Kirby, and if you tune in and see that fucking setup, it's okay to laugh at that and like be like, that's ridiculous, because it was. I think he could have like. I'll always be real with Mars because he's always real with me. He could have phrased it a little bit better, but like that's knowing him for a long time. It's not really his style. Like he'll just kind of say what's on his mind, which is okay.
Sure.
Here you go.
Here's the non-apology. I want to say that I have absolutely no intention of apologizing. Two handsome dudes nerd necking over a low TV to play Smash is hilarious, no matter how you cut it. Also, I've played in the basement of a Chinese restaurant for years and roasted that venue way harder.
Yes.
Bug off, Lamau.
Yes. It's the people were like, that's so disrespectful, it's so terrible. I'm like, dude, just look at the picture. It's funny. Like, no one's saying the TOs are horrible or the TOs suck. Nobody's saying that. Like, that's not the feedback. It's not even the TO's choice. If the TO's like, I thought the table looked nice, fuck you, I'd be like, okay, that's a whole different issue. But it wasn't even up to them. Like, what is the fucking issue here? The issue and the common enemy is like the venue that was being an idiot about the fucking table. And the table looks stupid. I don't care who you are or where you're from. You can't do a lot about it. That sucks. I get it, but it's funny. You can't.
It's like a rustic chic kind of stylish, you know.
Nerd necking's a fantastic phrase.
That's a pretty.
That
good
is
phase.
hilarious. Yeah.
I want
That's
that.
so
he also
funny.
called them handsome, which is random and funny.
I mean, these guys
Like,
are both pretty. They both look pretty fit, you know. They both got drip. Like, I guess.
Exactly, and that even makes the table stand out even more.
Yeah.
I don't think like. In terms of disrespectful, it's like a 1 out of 10 towards a piece of furniture that the TO didn't even pick himself or themselves and wanted it gone. I don't understand. I do not understand how this became a problem.
Sometimes you go through some effort to put together events and tournaments, and someone with a little bit of clout says something, and before you even know it, you're just mad, you know? And then sometimes it's like, bro, like, how mad are you, you know?
What a
like,
great opportunity for you to be like, here's our second one. We got a new table. If you can't get a new table, here's our new one.
We got a new table.
God,
Follow us
like,
on Twitter. That's all they had. That's all they had to do.
It's such a fucking waste of unproductive time to sit there and get upset that someone did that.
I saw a tweet. Someone's like, wow, like, I lost a lot of respect for you. And I'm like, this is where you draw the line? Really?
A table.
I hope for the next. I hope. You go.
I do wish he was a little clearer in his tweet. Like, I wish he initially like just laughed at the table. Like, his initial tweet could have been a little clearer. I agree, and I think it's because I've known him for a while. I knew immediately what he was laughing at and pointing out, and obviously he clarified that in his non-apology. But I mean, if you're a person that has a huge following like that, you got to know that your words can be interpreted a million incorrect or correct ways. So
Sure.
You know. Power to people there, but a little feedback obviously from ours. But I do not think this it was so mild. It was incredibly mild. I was shocked that people. I even jumped down and made a joke about it. I was like, "It's pretty funny looking. Like, that's cool," you know.
I hope for the next.
Chris, if you hosted an event and had that table and that exact layout, I would make fun of you so much. Of course, I would. Duh.
I mean, I would just accept it for what it was. It probably wouldn't have happened. I probably would have just had someone get like a fold out. But
yeah, apparently it wasn't allowed by the venue. Is what I'm being told.
Yeah.
So that's why. Furthermore, I'm like, then why do you care? It shouldn't hurt your feelings. It wasn't your choice, or like, why did it make you so mad? Maybe there's a part of the argument I'm missing. I'm open to that too. But I thought it was a very mild take to be like, we could do better than this table, or we deserve better. I thought we came further than this for a PGR event.
I hope.
It's really funny. It's like the more I look at it, the more it is like I'm just seeing the things. Because this is a very nice camera, by the way. This is like some kind of Panasonic nice ass camera. A couple DSLRs.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're right. There's a game of chairs. Look, there's even a projector.
Nice monitors. Like
what's off here? You know, just like
it looks funny. That is fucking hilarious. That is funny. Like, that is funny.
Yeah,
Flat out.
I hope we get a Summit skit out.
Something a little off here. That's all.
I hope we get a Summit skit out of this. Like, Mars is like like one of the property brothers.
Yeah. Not only that, but it just like it's not a good table. Like, if you want to talk about like how low it is compared to where the players are, like it's not. Remember when Tokido had the measuring tape for the like?
That picture's fantastic.
Which I love. It's just like it's a bad table. It's pretty fucking hilarious. Like,
yeah, you know what? I've had that same conversation about chairs. Like, I have like a tier list of chairs that I prefer when I'm at tournaments.
You need to make one for tables.
Yeah, like because I'm on the like my hot take is that bar stools are the worst types of chairs like of all time.
They're bad, yeah.
They're pretty bad. Like I don't even like most of the gaming chairs.
You can't even really pop off in a bar stool.
I love this picture so
Yeah.
much. When mom makes
dude.
Oh, well, hold on. My headphones died. Hold up.
Oh, we can still hear you pretty good though.
Yeah, you actually sound great.
Neat. I think it's okay to make fun of something that looks off and like take the feedback, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like, and I know it wasn't the most constructive and it wasn't like, you know, a well dictated tweet, but like the point stands. If you have some janky setup, it's gonna get made fun of. Like, and
Also, Ultimate just confirmed back at Evo.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Breaking news. Well, that's good.
Not
Not surprising news.
Smash was the first game.
I think it was one of the first ones they just announced. So I'm
So
gonna check.
Here's the funny thing about Smash and esports is, although it doesn't have the developer support, it's probably the largest esport, at least organic, anyways. It's just what it is. Outside of like something like outside of something like a Fortnite, where it's like literally just like
it's online.
Yeah.
Well, like
Yeah,
good online.
Yeah, Mr. Wizard wearing his signature orange polo.
What a legend.
Anyway,
that's my rant.
Yeah, I don't know what else there really is for Twitter takes. I just kind of want to make this a section with the little villager taking the little Twitter. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what else. What you guys got? Anything else before we wrap up here? I'm thinking we were all over the place today. Hello. Well, I'm not sure if I lost the call here or not, but I guess I can try to wrap it up as I try and figure out if this call is still working. It does not look like it. Anyways, all right, guys. Well, we are getting towards the end here anyways. So I am going to kind of do the sign-outs here. So if you guys enjoyed this podcast until the call died, you can go ahead and follow it. Follow the Twitter at Masterhand Games. You can catch all kinds of tweets about all the things happening in the area and yada, yada, yada. Keep up with this podcast if you're enjoying it. Obviously, hit like or don't. But like if you're consuming it and you do appreciate it, it just kind of makes sense too. Aside from that, that is pretty much all I got for you guys. So thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.